Hi, today I'd like to show you a little more about the charting options you have within VisualSaaS. Charting is a very powerful way of presenting information, complex information, in a very easily digestible fashion. So this demonstration is taken from the widget demonstrator which comes with your subscription. As ever, things may have changed by the time you get to look at it. But on that demonstrator there are three different types of chart. We've got a standard chart with bars and lines and areas and things. There's a pie chart and a gauge over here. The charting is based on Google Charts, and we have implemented a subset of the types of chart and the options within those charts. As demand increases and changes, then we'll be modifying what we support as a result. So looking at one of these in particular, I'll just take you through some of the properties that apply specifically to the chart. We can define some SQL. I've actually hard-coded the SQL here, so it just brings back a set of specific values. It's not going back to the database for this. I give the chart itself a title that appears within the chart area. Specify X and Y axis titles. I could plot something on the secondary Y axis, in which case I could also supply a title for that. The generic type of chart is a bar chart in this instance. I want a legend to go with it, and I want that displayed on the right. The show in 3D option doesn't apply to this sort of chart, it only applies to a pie chart. The orientation I've got here says that I want the x-axis to be displayed horizontally. You can flip the chart through 90 degrees and have what would normally be the x-axis displayed vertically. This lets me say that I want to slant the text for the x-axis, and I can specify the angle there that I want to slant it by. Font sizing and so on. That lets me say what the interval is between showing labels on the x-axis. So if I had a lot of values for the x-axis, perhaps I had a whole series of dates going throughout the year, I wouldn't want to show every single day, but I might want to show every single month or something like that. I can specify how to format the information that's shown on the x-axis. So if it is a date, I might want to show it just as month and year or whatever. Y-axis, it might be a currency that I want to show, so I can format that appropriately. I can specify events to occur when something's selected on the chart, and events after the chart has been drawn and just before the chart is redrawn. I can hard code a minimum value for the X and secondary, for the Y and secondary Y axes. Specify maximum values for those, and also where the text should appear. So, sort of at a canter, that's how to do the overall chart. In lots of ways, it's like an interactive or editable table in the way it's presented. So over here you can see I've specified 3 columns from the data that I'm bringing back. The first column effectively specifies the x-axis, and then the second 2 columns specify the data that I actually want to display. I can give each one a title, and I can say how thick the line should be if it is a line. I can specify the colour, or it will pick up a default colour if I don't specify anything. I can even opt to switch a series on or off, and that's quite useful if you have multiple series that you want to be able to display on a chart, but you don't want to display them all at the same time because it might be confusing. You want the user to be able to select which ones to show, so you can do that. I can specify in this instance whether I want to display the series as a bar, area or line. If I want to have points, the actual data point itself shown, 0 disables that, and in this instance whether it's going to plot on the primary or secondary y-axis. So if we go over, I'll close that down, go over to the operational system, and here you can see the three example charts that I've produced. The first one was the one I was showing you there, so I have everything plotted on the primary y-axis. I've got months along the bottom, there's my title, that's saying the sales down the side there. I had it fixed at 100 there, and it's telling me over here what what the legend is, and I'd asked for the sales to be shown as a bar and the projected sales as an area, and you can see as I roll over this it's showing me the actual values at the particular points there. Did a pie chart over here, and the only thing which sort of differentiates this from anything else is that I've put the 3D option on, which only applies to the pie charts. And I've got a gauge chart down here, which is very useful for summarising information, sort of very complex information which you can boil down to a single value, and you can change the what is danger, what is warning, and what's sort of standard with that. There are many more different types of charts that we could produce, and there are all sorts of variants on this and options that you can play around with.